All right, guys, we are finally here, and we have one of our super options traders, diamond members, Keisha Hudson, on the Zoom, and this is our first time doing this, and this is going to be very exciting. We want you guys who are listening to this presentation, and we want you guys to learn. Symor Investments is about teaching you how to get better as an investor, teaching you about the process, and helping everybody get to the goal. And the goal is wealth, guys. We're all about trying to make some money, and we know that's a process, and there's a process that a lot of us are not familiar with. And we're going to be transparent about it. We want you guys to see us while we are going through it. A lot of times, a lot of outfits will show you the results at the end. No, no, we're going to show you the scrapes, the burns, and then we're going to show you the triumph. All right, when we get to where we want to be. So I am here with Keisha Hudson. She's in Houston, Texas. I also have Sydney Brown here. Let me tell you guys something. Sydney has been instrumental with taking Summer Investments to a really good level. All of the communications, the technology with our website. She's engineered a lot of that stuff.
Wow.
And she's been great, and she's got even more plans. So it's an incredible journey to have Sydney, my daughter, to kind of architect this thing even to the next level. But hey, let me say this to you guys. I have spent more money on education, Keisha, than I've done anything else in my life. And part of that money on education has gone to her. So these are some of the rewards that you get from all that private school and all that kind of stuff we spent all that money on. Hey, these are the rewards. They come out and produce products over and over and over for the rest of your life. And that's what you guys are going to hear about when we start talking about investing. Now, I know I'm long-winded. I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to talk, but I just want to kind of set this thing up. But Sydney's been incredible so far, and we're excited about what we're about to talk about here. Keisha, go ahead and tell us about yourself. Let me say this. From a prototypical investor, from the mindset and the courage, there's no surprise that I chose you do this for as a very first investor because the intangibles that you have are things that I think a lot of people can make note of and make themselves better investors. Now, from a financial standpoint, we have investors doing a whole lot of stuff, financials. I mean, they can make a lot of money on the markets, but those intangibles are some things that you can't put a package on. And certain people have it and certain people do not have it. And you are one of our many investors that do have it. And we definitely wanted to have you on this session here. And go ahead and introduce yourself to us.
Hey, so glad to be here, and I really appreciate our connection and having the opportunity to chat with you and learn from you, Ray. It's pretty amazing, and Sydney's story is absolutely amazing as well. But I'm Lakeshia Hudson, born and raised in Port Arthur, Texas, near Houston. Yeah, I don't really tell many people that often, but no, I'm just playing. Um, professionally, for the last 20 or so years, I've been in consulting, more helping companies implement new financial accounting systems and transform their processes and things like that. So I've had a chance to kind of travel a lot, do a lot of things. And then outside of the 9 to 5 career, I've always looked for other ways to expand my wealth because I just see the job as one income stream. Earned income, I really believe, should be something that we use, of course, to live, but it should not be our only source. And we really should get to the point where we're investing more than we're actually living off of. And so that was something I really wanted to put into practice several years ago. And so I've continuously looked for ways to kind of just expand and grow my income sources and wealth. And so that's kind of what landed us here.
That's
So
right. That's right.
I'll just chat and have a conversation, help whoever I can help along the way,
Right.
and kind of focused on that. It's important.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for participating in this. And I think we're about to have some exciting conversation here. Sydney, do you want to talk about of anything in particular or introduce yourself?
I'm Sydney. Should we talk about our new implementations for next year, or what are you
I
going
want
What am I
for?
saying? There's so much stuff going
to.
on. Well, just tell us about you. So, graduate,
I'm a graduate from the University of Memphis. I have a degree in finance and a degree in fashion merchandising. And I've just began my career in finance, and I'm working behind the scenes at Symor Investments to make it, one of the best companies that it can be, and make sure that we can help a lot of people with growing their wealth. So that's my path so far.
I appreciate that. And you also have, what is your other income stream?
I'm also an entrepreneur. I have a women's wear brand, and right now we have sunglasses in stock. But yeah, we're working on a lot of great things for 2025 for the business. So yeah, I'm a full-time entrepreneur.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm so proud the design, the frames that she did design ended up in an Adidas ad all over the
Puma
country.
ad,
So
a
that's
Puma
just
ad,
incredible.
yes.
Puma, I'm sorry, Puma. I'm old. Puma ad. So that's good. So that's exciting, Sydney. Well, hats off to you and thank you for joining and being part of this conversation as well. Well, guys, let me kind of go ahead and get started here. Thanks for the introductions. Well, Keisha is a diamond member. What diamond membership means is not only is she doing options trading with us, but she's also building out a stock portfolio for the long term. So I thought that was exciting. But Keisha, I'm gonna tell you this. I remember that conversation we had, one of the very first conversations. I was in an airport, I think it was in New Jersey, it was one in New York, and you and I were talking, and I think you had been vetting the system or the team for a while, or vetting the program for a while. But when you did make a decision to go in, you said, "Hey, Ray, I'm going right to Diamond membership." And I thought that was an incredible decision. I think right from the beginning, it kind of showed me that you're gonna do your due diligence, but when it's time to make a decision, you're gonna go all in. And if you think about it, Keisha, when we send those contracts out and you're knocking down those big trades, you're going all in again. So that was a mindset that you actually executed, not only joining the program, but when you're in the program, you have that same mindset. Is that correct?
That's correct. Um, and just taking it back, kind of what you said, right? Um, I was sharing this with somebody, my mom, just a few days ago. I said, I vetted, I think I followed you for a couple of, I don't know. I seem to
Couple
get lost.
years. Okay.
But it was a while. And what was going on with me personally was, I kind of shared this with you too, right? I've always done real estate. That's my thing. I like hard assets. I like things that I can control. So the market was not something I actually spent a lot of time really trying to understand. Only thing I ever did was kind of like employee stock purchase plan type stuff, my 401k, those types of things I did. But at the beginning of the year, I was making this whole transition around really trying to figure out, how to tweak some things that were not working for me, both physically and financially. So in February, I made some wellness changes in my physical life, and I also made some wellness changes in my financial life. And one of those things was to really take a hard look at your program and to see if it was the right fit for me. And after you and I had talked, I felt like, hey, after looking for all these years, and I'm not gonna lie, missing out on some big opportunities that you guys had done over the years, because you're pretty consistent in delivering great results. And so I just decided to just go all in. And yes, I, committed to the program. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
Everything I was supposed to do every time. Oh, no.
Right.
Um, a minute to kind of say, okay, I'm gonna, every time he sends something, I'm gonna move on it.
Right.
But what I did, I look back on the things like the very first trades that you said to go and buy in that portfolio, and how it's grown tremendously in a lot of those areas, what 200+% since that initial investment back in February. So I just, have decided that do what people tell you to do, and don't try to overthink it,
Right.
because you don't have the experience that the person has. So once you make a decision to partner with somebody, you need to trust what they tell you to do, or else your money just becomes, it's a
Yeah.
waste of time.
That's right. That's right. And it's all a learning experience. We get better over time.
Mhm.
So I appreciate you. Let's call it retrospective. Go back, review what went good, what didn't go so well, make some incremental improvements, and accordingly. And that's, as an investor, you always have to do that. Remember, Warren Buffett or all these top guys, they go through those same experiences, right? They understand, make some adjustments and go. And I think I made the football analysis with, maybe I was talking to you the other day. It's almost like when you're trying to score a touchdown, right? So you can get a first down, right? The football team get on field, get a first down. The next play, they may get taken back 4 or 5 yards, right?
Correct.
Or they may throw a pass go up 20. The goal is the touchdown. It's not to
Correct.
get 10 yards. It's the touchdown. So if you have a goal, you say that, okay, we're going to do 100,000 this year. We're going to do 500,000 this year. That's your goal. We're going to do things in the process to get us to that goal. And we're not paying attention to or getting emotional about the steps along the way. They can go back a couple, you can go up 10, So if you have that on the options market as well as a portfolio, I think that's a good thing. I think we talked about that yesterday from an analysis perspective. So I think that's important. Yeah.
You're right. You're
Yes.
absolutely right. And
That's
that
it.
is important. That you got to set those goals. We were talking about my 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year goal. And I'm later in life, right? If I were in my 20s, there are things that I would consider do differently than being in your early 50s.
Right.
I'm a little bit more aggressive in some things than what I would have done 30 years ago. So we did talk about that. We talked about, hey, I have a very aggressive goal over the next 1 to 3 to 5 years, because the next time I leave my job, I'm leaving for good. And
That's
so
right.
that's pretty much where I am with it. And there's a number that I have in my head that I want to have in liquid assets, so I can go do
Hmm.
something.
Right.
And so that's a very important thing. And I realized that, I tell people all the time, I don't pit one thing versus another, right? Just because I never did stocks, it wasn't because I thought one was so much better than the other. It was just the
Hmm.
fact that, you get into one thing and you really have a tendency to like it, and it's working for you. And so that's where you stick. But, I look at my mom, she's basically invested in the markets her whole life, and she's done very well. And
Right.
so I really needed to tap into that and really align myself with somebody who was already experienced, because at 50, you don't have time to go learn 20 years of something that somebody else has already done.
That's
And I
right.
don't believe in reinventing the wheel. I just believe in aligning myself with people that already have those knowledge and experiences, and building those
Mhm.
kind of relationships that can help me get to where I'm trying to go.
That's right. It's called leveraging, right? You leverage
Mhm.
other people's ability to get you to where you're wanting to go. So that's wisdom to make those decisions, to make a pivot and say, hey, I'll let him figure all that stuff out. Let's let Symor Investments get these options trades or these stocks. Y'all do that. I'll go do some of this other stuff. One
Right.
other thing, yeah, one other thing about your tenacity, Keisha, is, we just rolled out the Champions Club, and kudos to you, Sydney Brown, for putting that program together as well. But Champions is just a referral program. It's kind of a referral program for people who are familiar with us. That's just another revenue stream that you've added to, what you're already doing with the stocks and the options. You're like, hey, there's another revenue opportunity there. Let's go do that. So I'm just saying that from a mindset perspective, when you go in, you're going to go in and get the most out of that experience. And that's important, right? You're not going to leave any cards on the table or anything like that. Even when you and I talk about the big wins you've done so far on the markets, you don't, you're trading in an account where you're not being penalized from a tax perspective. I mean, that's another way to make
Yeah.
even more money. Go ahead and talk about that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was something when we first started, I was like, okay, because options, that's earned income, right? So
Right.
if you're really making 10, 20, $30,000 off a trade, you have to factor in the fact that you're going to be taxed on that money. And
Right.
so if you're a higher income earner, you really are looking for ways to minimize your tax liability at the end of the year. And so I did have a Roth account, one that was actually set up as a self-directed Roth. And so, but with that account, I have the flexibility to move money back and forth, which is pretty cool. You can set
Right.
up a self-directed Roth IRA, and then you can actually have a Roth through Charles Schwab. And
Right.
when you're actually investing the money in in the markets, you can have the money in there. And when you want to go and put it in something else that's outside of the market, you can transfer it back to your other account. So that was something I learned too that was pretty cool because it allowed me to move money back and forth. And so with the Roth, the beautiful thing is that if you make $10,000 to $20,000 on those trades, all your money is tax free. Even though you contribute with the tax money, I mean, you can't beat that. So if you could figure out a way to get your Roth account to $1 million, $2 million, right? That's tax free money. I mean, that's a no brainer. I know for about immediate money, and so they're like, "Well, I can't touch my Roth," blah blah blah. But you're not building retirement accounts to touch, right? You got to segregate your money and say, okay, this is the money that's going to be there for when I'm done working, or when I hit a certain age group, so that I have money available to me. If you need immediate money, then yes, you got to put it outside of that account. But you need to be able to have stuff that can work in each one of those to be advantageous to you. So that's really where my focus is to grow that Roth account, and then also grow the non-Roth as well. But I just have to be careful because they'll take a lot of that money from you, and I'm not interested.
Right, and giving money away.
Like, oh, but
that's amazing.
You know, I'm in the portfolio side as well. So within the portfolio side, I could do both because that's more long term. And so when I do start working, you know, I'll be in a lower tax bracket. So I'll be able, if I do have to sell some of those stocks and have that income show up, at that point, you're in a lower tax bracket, you can absorb those taxes. So I kind of manage both sides of it.
That's incredible. I love that. Cindy, look about all the knowledge you're having access to at such a young age. Boy, if I can start over, well, I was pretty good at your age, though, but if I can start over. Think about it.
Entrepreneur, there's so much more. I mean, oh God, I just posted about that the other day. I said entrepreneurs really have the best tax advantages. Let's just be clear, right? There's so many things you can set up. Like my girlfriend, who's a real estate, she was telling me about the investment account she set up, and the way she had them set up, the way she can contribute so much of. I mean, she's contributing, I think, what I think is $60-something thousand into a what is it? A self whatever IRA. It's 400 solopreneurs or something. And she was telling me about that. And so, of course, in the back of my mind, I was trying to figure out how I could do both, and that's impossible to work with a person. But Sydney, in your situation, oh my God, at 20 something, the sky is the limit for these young people today.
That's right. With the knowledge,
it's just crazy what we can do.
Yeah, because we have to figure all this stuff out. Because again, a lot of us are first generational type. Now, my granddaddy was an entrepreneur. You know, he built houses and stuff, but they didn't transfer knowledge down to us like, you know, we're able to do today. So, and just being in this ecosystem at Symor Investments, we got some things planned for 2025. We're going to utilize some of our shadow participants business expertise, right? We're going to be able to share some of your knowledge amongst our other shadow members. So we just got some big plans. When they say, you know, I remember the Black Wall Street concept. Well, we're after something like that because having like-minded individuals like yourself, Keisha, there's so many more people like you. What we're not doing is sharing information and getting everybody to a certain point. This is going to be that outfit. We celebrate wins, just like when you did 20, you know, kind of in a couple of trades, just $25,000 that you cashed out with options contracts. We celebrate that, right? This is going to be the outfit where we celebrate each other successes, and we're proud about that, right? And that's kind of someone asked me, Ray, why are you doing this? He's a brand new trader. He just got in the program. Said, Ray, why are you spending so much time doing this? I say, it's for the camaraderie. It's a bigger goal than just me as an individual going out and do a lot of trades and oh yeah, you're doing well for yourself. For me, I want to build an ecosystem. And our vision, Sid, I don't know if you want to talk about this now, but our vision is bigger than just an individual. Having all of us together doing some extraordinary things in our personal lives and together, you know, with these trades, I think that's going to speak volume. And I think we're going to grow, you know, tremendously over the next couple of years. Cindy, you want to speak on that, on the vision at all?
I mean, the vision of it is to help everyone that we can to create wealth, to create a different perspective for their lives,
Right,
and not just for us individually. I
right,
think that incorporating just a lot of people and a lot of people in different sectors, different industries, and just having the wealth be spread amongst us,
right,
um, will just give us a fresh perspective, a different perspective on how we can live our lives.
right,
And so I
right.
think at Symor Investments, we have just like a great plan to so that we can incorporate people, so that we can reach different people, so that we can just kind of have a different and fresh perspective
Mhm.
altogether.
Right, right. It's different backgrounds,
Yeah.
things like that. And here's the thing, Keisha. When I say build wealth, I mean people throw that term out a lot. But when I think about yourself, Keisha, I think about um, you know, all the projects that you may be involved in, even outside of cyber investments. And just like your revenue stream, what's this thing? I just got something yesterday. They Meta right?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Oh my God.
something.
So that so you have
It's great.
some of these shadow people are so
Doing
great.
a lot.
They're doing so
There's
much.
another girl,
They're
another real
selling
estate
to the
agent that's
seller.
connected.
So they come into our program and say, hey, Ray, by the way, you might want to look at this. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? I got to be a part of this because you guys are about natural products. And when I looked at
Yeah.
it, Keisha, I enrolled under you. So,
Mm.
and I got excited. I think I got, what did I just order? The thing that Morgan has
The
in New York,
diffuser. The
diffuser. I
diffuser.
just got a diffuser yesterday. I was so excited.
Oh, cool.
So when everybody came over and had to put the diffuser going, it came overnight. So, but you want to talk about even Luca, you want to talk about that revenue stream that you have going as well.
Yeah, and I've met so many people. Just Ray, I just want to thank you for that because when you do celebrate us, it drives community, right? So I've
Right.
been able to even connect with people right now, even before you guys are kind of formalizing this thing. And the people I've met have been pretty amazing. I think there's a young lady who's a real estate agent that's killing it. I've talked to another young lady. I can't remember what she does. Oh God, but she was doing
Mhm.
some things that was killing it. And yeah, with me, like I told you, I never saw my job as the end all be all. It was simply a revenue stream that I can use to kind of expand and do other things. And Melaleuca is an amazing company. It's been around for a long time, but I decided to transition a lot of my shopping over to their online store because with my mom going through her transition through breast cancer and wanting to go more of a natural route for her healing, we had to make those changes. We couldn't have those chemical based products around. And so just gave us a one-stop shop to buy some amazing things. And I tapped into their referral program, just like you were just talking about.
Mhm.
I believe that you can flip anything from an expense to something you can make money from, whether it's your car, your house, your
Right.
laundry detergent. It does not matter. You need to look at everything you're consuming and figure out how you can be the investor versus the consumer. When you practice that mindset, you never become a person that goes into debt. You're always a person that has money. You have something that you can leverage. Even if you got into a situation, you have something that you can leverage to get yourself out of it. So that's my mindset in everything I do. Um, so it's been a blessing. Meluka has generated me over six figures in returns, but the main thing is that it's the repeat income.
That's right.
It's the
That's
it's
right.
the income that you get, just like with stocks, right? I mean, it's
Mhm,
the same
mhm.
thing. It's that ability to have that income source that you don't have to work for.
Right.
Mhm.
What I love.
And people miss that. People think, and I made a post. I said, hey, Keisha cashed out $25,000 in two trades. I
Hmm.
said, go to your employer tomorrow and ask them for a $25,000 raise, and then write in the comments of this post what they tell you. I know they're gonna say, Ray, you
Good
come and sit
luck.
down. What's the matter with you? You're not qualified. And then some people will say, well, I can't get the raise, so I gotta wait. Well, no, you don't. God didn't tell you you couldn't get $25,000. That job may have told you that. What my point of it
That's
is,
right.
people think that source of income is their end all be all to their lifestyle. And let me tell you what they
Right.
do. They, try and stretch it, that one income as much as possible. And where they can't stretch it, they go out and get credit, right?
Mhm.
Then you find themselves in credit crunches, and then you're paying that back, and then all of a sudden you're just behind the eight ball. That's not the way to live, right? So,
Correct.
and it never fails right around Christmas time. The last 3 years, people know I do options trading. hey, Ray, can you help me get a contract so I can get some more money for Christmas? To keep doing what you've been doing all year.
Woo!
No, this is not a slot machine. No, we're not Tunica or Vegas. Y'all don't know what Tunica is. But this is not Vegas where we're just pulling levers. No, this is a process and a system that works year after year after year. So if you got bad spending habits, flipping a contract on a trade is not going to help you. I'm just
Correct.
gonna, right. So
Yeah.
hopefully people are understanding your mindset, Keisha, and sitting in mind and knowing that we're about consumerism all the time. We're
Correct.
about the other side. It says be the head, not the tail.
That's
There's a
right.
scripture that says get 7 incomes. They said, no, go get 8 incomes because you don't know what's going to happen. Well, this is scripture, what we're doing. This is what God tells us to do.
That's
People
right.
will get themselves in trouble with 1 income, go to hell, and then they'll say, God, why'd you let this happen to me? I said, well, wait a minute. I don't trust that job. That's why I told you to get 8 incomes.
That's
You know,
right.
so it's just the
That's
mindset.
right.
It's totally, these are facts. People will go in and get that one job and then try and trick you and make everybody think I'm rich. If I'm working for somebody, okay, I'm rich. So I'm going to buy this, buy that. It's crazy. It's madness out here. It's absolute madness. And we're in the season of the most consumers part of the season, which is the Christmas season. And people are going to go hand over fist spending more. It's just, it's crazy. So what you have to do is put yourself on a budget, invest, and sit down somewhere. So I'll get off my soapbox.
You didn't tell him to sit down somewhere. Mind y'all, let me just call him out. He ain't sitting down nowhere.
No, you gotta have the money to do it. When you have money to do things, you do it. Don't spend all your money doing stuff. Don't have anything invested. That's what I'm saying. And I always say this, Keisha. Once you've invested and got money working, go out and buy all the Gucci and
Oh yeah.
all the stuff you want, but make sure you're taking care of yourself, right? That's
Oh, I
all I'm saying.
agree. I 100% agree. But I have to give you a hard time every so often.
I know I
But
like
no, I
that. I like
100% agree. And they need to flip it around, right? To your point, you can't spend everything you make. But it's funny you mentioned that because about having the 8 income streams, because people will get married to those jobs and they get mad when their employer decides to make a change in their business that results in them either losing a job or having to take a pay decrease or something like that. You can't get mad at the owner of a company for doing the best thing for his company. You
And
have to be the
shareholders,
owner of
right?
your company and do the
Right.
best thing for you. And if you understand that job is just one of your income sources, and you also understand that it's not the end all be all, you're consistently trying to figure out how I make myself more marketable and more valuable in the marketplace. To whereas if I lost that job today, getting another one is no big deal.
Right.
It's no
Right.
big deal, right?
That's
Because you
good.
know your value. You've built the relationships over time. I had somebody tell me this, and I said, I don't want to be rude with you, but if you've been working for 20 years and you still have to submit a job application to get a job, you have not done something right.
That's right.
You should be able to
That's
pick
right.
up the phone and call somebody and say, listen, I'm actively looking right now. What you got? I mean,
That's right.
it's
After
just
20
real.
years.
It's
That's right.
real.
That's
And
right.
so we have to think differently. We have to train these young people to operate differently. And it's a shame because we were told go to school, get a job, that's it,
That's right.
right? The,
That's
the
right.
job
Mhm.
is the holy grail. Then you get the picket fence and all that. And
That's
that's
right.
one way of doing something, but it is really not the right way to be training people today. It's
That's
really
right.
not.
Not today.
Uh,
You're exactly
Not
right.
today. No.
Mhm.
It's too fluid. It's
It's
too
too fluid.
fluid. And you're going to be competing on a much different scale. We got
Mhm.
AI in place. You
I was just
cannot
thinking
just
that.
train somebody to go to school, get a job, and say that's where I'm going to be for 20, 30 years, and that's it. It's not going to work. You're going
Not
to
going to
fail.
happen. Mhm.
So they have
I
to
love
take
that.
advantage of things. And like what Sydney's doing is absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
What your other daughter is doing is absolutely amazing. Young kids, I love it. Like it
Right.
fuels me, it gives me energy. So we gotta keep sewing back into that.
That's right. I love that. I love that. Cindy, you have anything to say about that? About the
I
new
completely agree.
workforce. The new workforce. Hey, she is not the one to sit behind the desk for no 8 hours. She is not going to do that. I don't think that one's going to do it. So,
Yeah.
but
I
you're right. Listen,
You
and here's the
planted the
thing.
seed of entrepreneurship, so that's why I'm on this path. And
There you
I've
go.
learned to
Aw.
just, go with it and take it as far as I can. And I'm
There you go.
still young. I can try a lot of different things, but this is what I'm doing now. So
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Well, you're never leaving Symor Investments. Nobody's ever asked me, what does Symor Investments stand for?
I
Keisha,
finally figured it out after months.
tell me,
It took
what
me
does it mean?
forever.
Tell me, what does Symor mean?
It was well, I hope I'm right. It's your two daughters' names, right?
It sure
Sydney and
is.
Morgan.
That's right. I knew
But
you
it
was gonna
took me
figure it out.
forever to put two and
yep.
two together. I was like, what is this? But then I was
Yeah,
like, oh my goodness, that's his daughter's names. I thought that
right,
was beautiful.
right, right. Hang on a second, guys. Hang on one second. My speaker just started playing out of no reason as soon as you said that. Started hearing music. Oh, but that's great. It does stand for Sydney and Morgan, and that's why they're gonna take this thing to the next level one of these days. So, but this is exciting. Now we talk about the mobile workforce, and that's one of the reasons, Keisha, in the Diamond membership program, the shadow portfolio bill, that's why it's so important for
Yes.
individuals to control their own portfolio because no longer are we in the days when you can, work 30 years, get that 401k, get that company match for 30 years, 20. That's not going to happen. So you have to be in control of not only your income, with these jobs, but your retirement planning. That's
Yes.
why we introduced that shadow portfolio program that you're part of. We want to help you build that portfolio. You go from job to job to job. Well, you are taking your own portfolio with you because you control your portfolio. And that's what we're doing. That's what we do there for long-term planning. So I'm glad that you kind of mentioned that and the changes that are happening with AI. Guys, this whole world, I'm telling you guys, in 5 years will look totally different. 5 to 10 years,
Right.
they call it the industrial revolution of now. But people need to understand we went from horse and buggy and no lights to buildings, right, with the industrial revolution. That's how big this change is going to be. So it's just incredible. Uh, it's fun to be a part of it if you don't mind change, if you're excited about change, you got energy, you're staying on top of your game. Hey, this is a great opportunity for you. I'm glad to be around to see it. So
Yep.
this is exciting. People like us, Keisha, help we have tools now to go out and make some amazing things happen. Like even this company and what you're doing, so many income streams you have. Technology is helping us do that. So this is a great opportunity for us to get even, more connected, share many more ideas. Like, again, we're going to create a portal where all of our high performers can create and share ideas and make everybody better. So
Correct.
that's a goal, and so that's another benefit of being in our ecosystem here at Symor Investments. So we're excited now. We're not gonna keep you too long, Keisha, because it seems like we can talk forever. But on this options trading stuff, I had somebody chime in and say, "Well, how are you doing that? What am I doing wrong?" They're getting the same everybody's getting the same information. But let's separate our traders. And in our new system, we have this thing called investor risk tolerance, right? You're going to be high
Yep.
risk, medium, and low. So when you log into our portal at symerinvestments.com, you have the ability to kind of segregate yourself. Now, everybody wants to put $200 in and pull out $250 million, right? Everybody wants to do it, or 25,000.
That's the
It doesn't
problem.
work like that. It's simple. It's just complete mathematics, right, Keisha, with what
Yep.
you're doing versus somebody coming in.
Yep.
So I've been blessed enough to say in the program, these new investors are coming in. They're not buying one contract, they're buying 5, 10, 20. Tell me am I missing? So
No,
instead
right.
of profiting $700 for that one contract, you bought 10, you profit 7,000. Correct, Keisha?
Correct.
You bought 20, you profit 14,000.
That's right.
That same trade. Now, I was going to Spain, not even this trade we're in, but back in July. And you and I had a conversation. And I'm gonna separate some people with this conversation. Now you had maybe 10 contracts off of that trade we had. And there was a moment, and I said, hey, tomorrow the stock can make a drastic move in either direction.
Yep.
You'd already have some profit. I said, hey, you can go ahead and pull out, be happy with your profit, or you can roll the, I'm gonna say roll the dice because we like feel like we know what we're doing. Well, or you can just hold it out and see if it gets even higher. Now, I posed that question to another gentleman, and he had 5 contracts. He said, "Hey, Ray, I've been part of a lot of operations. I've never profited like I am right now." He was up maybe $1,000 that day. He said, "I'm going to pull out." I got to Spain. You and I had a conversation. I said, "Keisha, when you open up your account today, it's going to be a lot of money." "Ray, I don't see it yet, Ray. I don't see what you're talking about." I said, "Just wait till the market opens. You know, the market has to,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
delay."
I remember that. I
I,
remember that because
I remember it too.
I was in a. I
I
told my
remember the
mom about that.
excitement from you, and I
I
remember the
was in a
agony from the other
client.
shout out to trader. He pulled out
Oh,
early. Had he waited, he'd have had $8,000 off that one trade. But instead, he pulled out 1,000. That's okay. But Keisha, you and I were on the phone, and one thing that sticks out to me is you said, "Oh my God, Ray, how," you said, like, "how high could it go, or what's happening here?" You're up to like 17,000 or
it
something like
was
that. Go ahead.
7,000. And it was when you were texting and I was texting you back saying I don't see anything. I was in a client meeting,
Okay,
and
okay.
then you said something. I guess it was a few minutes later. You said you see something now, and so I went logged in the client meeting, and I saw it, and my face just I couldn't control my face. So I had to do one of those one finger moments that you do at church when you have to step out.
Right.
And I went stepped out, and that's when I called you. But I was so shocked by seeing that kind of ink that was just blew my mind. And
Right.
so I was just like the whole day walking around there with a big smile on my face. They always looking at me crazy, but it was amazing. And my whole thing is, when we started this, you told me, you said I have a 70%, I think it was 70% where you're gonna win. So in my
Right.
head, I knew we were gonna lose 30% of the time, right? Now, of
Right.
course,
Right.
I gravitate to that because I say, well, he had 70% before I connected with him. We about to have 100. But that was the way my mindset went, but I didn't
Right.
say that.
Right.
But I like the fact that you never said, because I'm gonna be honest with you, if somebody comes to you and say, "Oh no, I always win, we don't never lose," you need to walk away, because
That's
there's
right.
no thing, right? Even though we walk in that, you can't
Right.
tell people, clients, that, right? Because you know that there's risk and things can happen. And so it was really because you said those words that really made me lock in with you, because I said,
I like
he
it.
never said we were gonna win all the time. He
I
never
like
said.
it.
So, I've had some losses, and I'm gonna be honest with you, those losses have not been because of Ray. Let's be clear. Those
Okay, I
losses
like it.
have to do with the fact because of Keisha and not doing what her mind told her to do. So,
Right.
but that's the reason why I got in. That was really the reason, because, and I told my mom this. I said, he never said we're gonna win all the time. And if he would
Right.
have, I wouldn't have believed it.
Like
I
that.
wouldn't have wanted to be around nobody. It's too much pressure on anybody to
Right.
tell
Right.
somebody, yeah, we're gonna win all the time. I got you. It's too much pressure.
That's right.
Too much
That's right.
pressure.
Yeah, because
And
anything can happen in the market at any time, right? So.
correct.
Mhm.
Correct. And so you just gotta weigh your options, and you gotta do what you and say this, the gut plays a strong part, because even when you send the trades and you do these things, you still gotta go with what's comfortable for you. You
As
just
an
do,
individual. That's right.
because
That's right.
sometimes your tolerance isn't there, and you can't do that trade, because here's what's going to happen. It can, you'll wake up one morning and the thing could be in the red. We've
Right.
seen that even with this. Was it with this one or
Mhm.
one? We've seen
One
that,
of them.
right?
Right.
And if your tolerance is not at the point where you can look at that and say, well, that's a point in time, I got to keep going, I got to keep doing what I'm doing, then you should get into that type of environment, because what's going to happen is you're going to feed into that, and you're going to be now start a consistent losing cycle,
That's right.
because you feed into that fear, and now you're just going to be losing all the time. You'd be surprised how that works. So
Mhm.
that's why you really have to do things at the level where you can handle them.
Right. 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 And I
But
love
you can
your
mature to that.
responses. Yeah. And you're like, "Oh, it's going to come back."
Yeah.
You said
Yeah.
that. "Oh, it's coming back." I said, "Yeah."
And then
And
I
you
messed
believed it.
up. And that one trade I messed up. Yeah, everybody was getting out, and I knew that I was supposed to get out. And I
Right.
said, well, I'm gonna let it go. And the thing just started. You remember I called you and I said, Ray, I don't know, maybe I should buy the stock, whatever, whatever. And then either you said something or I, in our conversation, we go back and forth, and I said, nope, I'm holding on. And even in that trade, I didn't make the money that I should have made when I got out, but I lost nothing because I held on, didn't move. I didn't make a hasty decision to try to cut my losses and all that kind of stuff. I didn't do that. And so that's another example of, you ride the thing out. So yeah, I've done well. I've been able to go in and look at all of them all together and just see, because there was one when we first started that I even made money. I wasn't one of the big ones, but I made money on it.
Yep,
so there's thousand here, thousand there, all over the place.
That's right.
It's even bigger than just the two trades that were just.
Oh yeah, that's why I know. I kind of mentioned that on one of my posts because I remember some other wins that you were part of. So, but we just championed those really, really big ones. And if you think about it, Keisha, if you go back to the very beginning, the small wins, getting comfortable with the system, say, hey, this is good. I like what I'm doing. And then we got house money in our brokerage account now because you've got wins that are still in there. Then at some point you say, oh, I'll do 5 contracts, you do 10, do 20. That's when I do a coaching session with a new shadow member, I coach them through that mindset to say, unless you're really rich or you just like to, I got some people who just like to throw money around, and they can do that because they got it. Most people that work for their money, and you don't want to just throw money around. You come in there, you do some steps along the way, and then when you get to a certain point, like where you are now, you do 5, 10, 15, 20 contracts all the time because you got so many wins, you make so much money. Now you're just pulling in $10,000 a trade, right? So if you think about where we are today, Keisha, just about a year from today, with all that experience you have, we get into another trade like that's going to be a good one. Go 10 contracts, and you consistently bring it in $8,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month. Hey, we are doing something serious right now. So, and that's the goal that I want a lot of our shadow options traders to have, and that's the vision that we have for you guys. And we're just talking about shadow stuff. I can spend a whole nother hour on that portfolio, and you look at all the greens and all the you and I talked about it. Ray, if I had gone in, and we talked about one of those stocks, it was $40. Now it's up to like 180 or 130. It's like, Ray, I could have tripled my money right there. I mean, there's so many opportunities on the portfolio side as well as the option side. So it's just an incredible apparatus. I like the fact you agree on it. It's an incredible apparatus to be part of. And I thank you for being, on board because you are a prototype, perfect client for Symor Investments. Number one, you did your due diligence before you got involved, right? That's number one. You said, I've been watching, you said 2 years. I didn't know you watched for 2 years. 2 years. Then, when you came in all blazing. You say, I'm going straight to diamond membership. I'm not going to play with this other stuff. Going with diamonds. Then you got in, start buying your stocks. Then you start doing your options trades, tiptoeing in options, learning the system. Then you started going all the way out with options. Then you got these big wins. I mean, this is just Sydney. I mean, if I can do write a book on the client I want, this is it right here. And that's why, like I said, you're chosen not because you make 25,000 off for 2 trades. No, it's the whole process. Because I talk about process all the time. Because listen, anybody can get lucky and do a big trade and make a lot of money. That doesn't mean anything to me. But when you got the mindset to do what we did this year, all we gotta do is wash, rinse, and repeat. Now we got another shadow options trader who's he's my fraternity brother. I can't pull it. He always want to be anonymous. He knocks down $10,000 a month. Been doing it for as long as this program's been in play. He's got this thing where he says wash, rinse, and repeat, and he does it all the time. And he's doing like $10,000 per trade every time we do something. So he's not satisfied if it ain't 10,000. He ain't even he said, oh, okay. He got to put out $10,000 every
I
trade.
like him already. I need that's
yeah.
I like him already.
And I'm gonna tell you this: you are a finalist for our Shadow Options Trader of the Year. He won it last year, and you were a finalist for that trade this year. So I'm just gonna tell you between you and a couple other people, but you've done extremely well so far. So we're gonna announce that in December. But you're right there in the top 3. So it's been an amazing journey. And I'm gonna say this to you as well. I appreciate you for, having the courage to do your due diligence and doing this thing, vetting us out properly, right? And you vetted us without influence, it sounds like, from other people. It sounds like you're able to make your own decisions,
Yeah.
go for what you know, and you do it. Your integrity is there. Look at our integrity. You saw we're shooting straight from the deck. Our integrity is there, and we're a perfect match for this product. Okay,
Correct.
so I appreciate you for the things that you've done for the program as well. Because again, you're a prototypical client. Cindy, you got anything you want to add to that?
Just that I agree.
I like this.
If Sydney had her way, everybody would be a client like you. But I said, no, Sydney, everybody's not going to come in like that. So we work with everybody because our goal is, here's the thing, Keisha, as a people, we're spending the money. Oh,
Yep.
Black folks spending money. I look on Facebook, and I ain't going to get on no soapbox in there, I promise you. People going on trips. They are concerts, clubs. We spending the money. But we take our money, we go to work 40 hours a week, take our money, and it's just gone. I got to go right back to
Correct.
work over and over and over and over. It's like, guys, what are we doing here? We're going to better write checks for our grandkids. I don't have any grandkids, but got to write checks one day, or we're going to be, passing some generational wealth to somebody else. Or they're going to say, Raymond, keep your hand out their pocket. Or I hear that stuff. Let people do what they want with their money. They good on that until they need something. They start asking for stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm
You get
okay
that
with it with your money.
GoFundMe or
Just
get a
don't
cash
call.
app in their birthday. I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Just don't call me begging. The ones that really get to me is the ones that, they complain on social media about inflation, about prices of stuff going up, and they spend more time complaining than they do, really trying to do anything about it. Like, I'm like, what's your point?
Right.
That goes back to that control thing we were talking about. Like, I like to be in control of things. I can't control the fact if an avocado goes up 10, 20 cents. I can't control that. But I can control going out and making my money grow so that if no matter what happens around me, I can be in a position to be able to sustain myself. That is the piece that we all have the power to do. And we just need to really start taking our own individual accountability and responsibility and going out there and doing it. And so you having this platform is a great opportunity, especially for these people. I'm telling you, if they 20, 30 years old,
oh my God,
they don't even understand, right? They don't even understand.
They don't. And people who are parents, let me tell you something. Parents who know better still won't put their children in this. They're like, well, I know how to invest, but I know this guy who invests. They won't do that. They'll just let them go follow the same bad footsteps, right? Somebody ought to say, hey, I didn't do this thing right. I don't have, $3 or $4 or $5 million put up, but I want to make sure my son or daughter is not doing the same mistakes that I've done, right? They got to get out the mindset that ultimate success is a car, a house, and being able to take some trips. That's not it, guys. If that's your level of success, that's just needing a job, right? In corporate, a job to give you that, but that's all it's going to give you. It's not going to give you
Correct.
generational wealth. When you start talking about generational wealth, then we got to have some different conversations, put some different apparatuses together, and that's what we're doing here at Symor Investments. So, we're fighting, and we're going to keep our this journey going. We made a pivot, right? Symor Investments is going to be really concerned or working for those in our shadow programs because the shadow participants are more committed to what we're about. That is six-figure portfolios, $10,000 a month on these options trades. That's what we want to be part of as an organization, this point forward, because we see the opportunities with Keisha, and I got several others like yourself. Hey, we're going to ensure that you have the resources to be successful. Even with the login, you got access to all the training. I'm telling you, your futures and commodities training, advanced portfolio, I get everything. We're going to train you, help you with the trades, put money in your pocket, and be a resource for you. Also give you, the Champions Club, just more referrals. Put a note out the other day and say, hey, you can make $1,000 a month with Champions Club. That's just passive income again on top of the options on top of the portfolio. We're just going to make money all over the place. And that's what I want our participants in the Champions Club and our shadow participants to feel, that we're just going to be about wealth and profit and assets. Okay. So That's kind of where we are. But anyway, all right, Keisha, I'm going to close up. It's about an hour, and this has been so exciting. We talked so much, and I was so happy to have this kind of a face-to-face conversation. We ever go to Texas City? Are we going to Houston next year? We're going out to Houston?
We can.
All right. She's going to put this road show together, so we might be your way. So,
That works.
all right, we're going to start doing something out there. You got anything in closing, Keisha, you want to add?
No, I just am very thankful and looking forward to what's next. You know, you and I got some things we're going to be working on one-on-one, and I'm excited about that as well.
So we're going to
So
knock those goals out too. That's already done. That was easy. Your objective was easy. I was like, oh, that's easy. We can do that. That ain't nothing.
that's what he kept telling me, by the way, over and over again. Oh, that ain't nothing.
That ain't nothing. We got that. I told you we're gonna break the ceiling. Whatever ceiling y'all got on this stuff, we're gonna shatter all of those because there's a lot of money out there to be made, and the market is gonna be crazy over the next couple of years. And we're well positioned. We got the technology in play. We're gonna hit the ground running, so it's gonna be exciting. So you hold on. You ain't seen nothing yet, okay?
I got you.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, and we really appreciate you guys for listening to us today. And we're going to bring some more exciting investors to you. Just look forward. We look forward to bigger and better things in the future. Thank you, guys.
All right. You guys have a good one.
All right.
Thank
Same to you.
you
Thank
too.
you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye.